Hi guys, Borut Petrlin and Fotopub Still TV is back. Today it's Sunday, mentors arrived, everything is running smooth and by the schedule. Today I was talking with Abbie Trayler Smith, UK photographer that is exhibiting and also tutoring at Fotopub Festival. Abbie, I would like to ask you first how your career as a professional photographer started and then developed.
Well, I went to college to study law, and when I arrived it was very dry, and there was always a debate whether to go to art college or law school. And so when I found that college wasn't quite giving me what I needed, I came across the student newspaper and they had some really wonderful photography, so I got involved in that and quickly became completely obsessed. And when I realised that photography was something you could do as a living, I could have had nothing else in my sights apart from that. So when I graduated I did lots of work experience with different news agencies and papers, and when I graduated I went around all the newspapers and said, give me work, and I was lucky enough to get some shifts at a newspaper, the Daily Telegraph in London. And then very quickly became full-time for them.
For Daily Telegraph, right?
The Daily Telegraph,
okay.
yeah. Very quickly became full-time for them. Did a lot of travelling. They sent me all over the place, all the weird and wonderful locations you get sent to cover the news and report what's going on in the world.
What kind of photography did you do for them? Like what kind of news?
A real mixture. I mean, I worked for the news desk, but I did a real mixture from your kind of London Zoo's got new penguins arriving, come and see all about it, or the penguins are hot, they're being given ice lollies to cool them down in the heat wave, or these typical British kind of weather stories, right through to kind of covering the tsunami, covering the war in Iraq.
How many trips per year have you done for, let's say, on an assignment? Because that assignment sounds like a very good deal.
Yeah,
dream jobs.
Yeah, no, that was the dream job, but not forgetting all the daily grind that you do. Like there's yet another Stradivari violin being sold at Christie's. Can you go to the press call? So the foreign trips, I don't know. I guess every couple of months there would be a trip, and then you'd have your daily 3 jobs a day in London, making pictures out of nothing or something, depending on what's happening.
So basically you were working from 2001 to 2006 for Daily Telegraph.
2007, yeah.
2007?
Yeah.
And so now you're, let's say, 2 years a freelancer. How was the transition from photographer to...
It's tough, it's scary, you panic because as a freelancer you have peaks and troughs, you have really quiet periods and you think, oh my gosh, am I ever going to get a job again? Is anyone ever going to employ me? And then the next thing you know, your feet don't touch the ground, you don't have time to do your laundry. But you get into the rhythm of it, and soon you realise that the quiet periods are a blessing, because they're the times when you can work on your personal projects and develop ideas and get inspiration, and the busy times are the times to suck up the energy and just go for it.
So now, when it's a recession, do you get, how I call it, hiccups for the stuff photography, or the recession?
Well, it's been quiet, but I think it's starting to pick up again. You know, I think people will always need photography, and you have to go with the flow, and you have to use those quiet times to your advantage.
Freelance photographer is more or less a marathon runner, isn't it? It's not that you will run for a year.
Yeah, more like I don't know if you've heard of the Marathon des Sables in Africa, where it's like a sort of across the Saharan desert. It's a real, crazy journey.
So, as you said already before the exhibition, so.
I mean, that was one of the reasons for quitting the paper. I wanted to spend more time on long-term projects and really get involved with the subject.
What do you exhibit now here in Novo Mesto?
So the exhibition you'll see here this week is called Still Human, Still Here, which is focusing on destitute asylum seekers, people who've come to the UK, claimed asylum, their asylum claim's been refused for whatever reason, their story hasn't been believed. And they're appealing against their claim, but in the meantime they're left in this limbo where they're not given any support or money. They can't go home because they could be killed, tortured, whatever. You know, the reason they've come to Britain is because they're fleeing from something terrible. They're not; these people aren't economic migrants. They haven't come to steal our jobs and our houses. They've come to seek refuge. So while their cases are being processed, they sleep. They're living on the streets, basically. You know, on park benches, sleeping on buses. It's a crazy existence. The project came about through. I met up with a writer called Diane Taylor, who runs a drop-in centre in North London that once a month where these people can go and get a £5 bus voucher and supermarket vouchers, you know, and a hot meal, and be able to come together and feel like they're part of a community rather than sort of isolated. I mean, the thing these guys say to me over and over again, it was like, we're treated like animals, we're not human beings, we are the walking dead, you know. And all the different people that I spent time with over the year of doing the project, these were the same messages that were coming out over and over again. You know, we're not, and it's the sort of thing that you really need to put the time in, because these people are vulnerable. They've had horrific lives, and they're not just going to start telling their story and be photographed unless they sort of trust you. So I went to the drop-in, met some of the people, met them for coffee, talked to them about where they come from, explained to them what I wanted to do, which was to tell their story as they see it.
Did you manage to publish this story in newspaper or in some other form?
It was published at the time of, there was an exhibition in London at the Host Gallery, and it was published in conjunction with that as a kind of this is an exhibition that's on, and this is the story that's being told. But it's been quite difficult to publish as an editorial story. It's not a popular subject, asylum. You know, it's been. I made a short film with Panos, my agency, and that's had great feedback on the web. You know, that's been published all over the web, and it's a great way to sort of get the story out there, because these days magazines aren't so keen to publish these kind of stories. So you've got to keep pushing it and get the message heard.
The opening of your show here in Novo Mesto will be tomorrow on Monday. Do you know what time?
No, I've got a clue.
I think it was 7 p.m.
Yeah, maybe in the evening.
7 p.m. Yeah. In Narodni Dom. So I hope listeners of this podcast will come to your show and greet you in person.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, guys, this was second podcast from Fotopub Still TV, and more information on photopub.com.